Hey everyone, Pastor Grant, just doing our daily devotion through Holy Week, and this is the last one we'll be doing for the each day. But we'll be looking at the day in which we'll be looking at Jesus' burial, because we remember today. This is Saturday, the day between Good Friday and Easter. We remember the day in which Jesus was in the tomb, and so I'm going to read from John chapter 19, verses 38 to 42. And it says, After these things, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly for fear of the Jews, asked Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus, and Pilate gave him permission. So he came and took away his body. Nicodemus also, who earlier had come to Jesus by night, came bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds in weight. So they took the body of Jesus and bound it in linen cloths with the spices, as is the burial custom of the Jews. Now in the place where he was crucified there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had yet been laid. So because of the Jewish day of preparation, since the tomb was close at hand, they laid Jesus there. We remember the day in which Jesus laid in the tomb was a Sabbath day for the Jewish people. It was a day of rest, a day of preparation, a day in which the people were not allowed to be out and about and busy. It was a day of rest. And I think the disciples, I think of how they've been feeling. They must have been feeling anxious. They must have been worried. They're probably wondering what's next. I think of the women who followed Jesus, who will see who we see that followed Jesus. I'm thinking they're probably feeling anxious and wondering what's next. They don't really know. There's a lot of uncertainty. And what were they called to do? They needed to have a day of rest in the midst of it. As we look at our world today, what's going on with the COVID-19, we see a lot of unrest and a lot of uncertainty. We don't really know what to make of everything that is happening. There's a lot of uneasiness and anxiety, and we need to remember that just as the disciples and the women following Jesus needed to stop, maybe in our anxiety we need to learn to stop and to rest. Now, that doesn't necessarily change the inner uneasiness that we can feel sometimes. But sometimes we need to remember that in the midst of the uneasiness, the uncertainty, that somewhere in there light is going to break through. Somewhere in the midst of the uncertainty, hope is going to begin to shine. I want to encourage us to think about that, this day of rest and preparation, this day of waiting. Because it's often in those times that we're going to see God break through and shine the brightest. There's a song that I'm also going to post with this video called God Rested by Andrew Peterson. And it goes through the events of that day, what people were probably doing, and it's a reminder that God stopped and God rested because God said it was finished, and it was. And then the song ends, though, with the world or all creation waits. We wait to see, is God going to shine through? How God is going to burst into this situation, the uncertainty, the hopelessness. We wait. Let me know if you need anything today. I hope you can sit with this as we wait to see what's next. God bless.